everybody out there in TV land, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever your thing is that you're watching us on today. This is Gina Miners Collins with WINOS, Women in Need of Sanity. And today I have two very special guests. I have Denise Alvarez and I have Rashida Littlejohn, and I'm gonna cut to them and let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Denise Alvarez. I am a mom of three, grandmother of one. I have occupied various roles in community service, including pastor, mental health therapist, substance abuse therapist, and now I direct a program for youth 18 to 21 transitioning from foster care into the community.
Rashida.
Hi, my name is Rashida Littlejohn. I have three children, three gifted children, a total of four grandchildren. My background is a Bachelor in Criminal Justice, and I have over 20 years of community and public service, 10 years being with Erie County Department of Social Services. And currently I serve in a supervisory role with the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision.
So basically, Rashida is part of Buffalo's B613, but we just gonna leave that right there. So just to give a little bit about myself, I am, of course, I said Gina Myers Collins. I am a mother of two boys who I call the Minions. They are the loves of my life. I have a master's degree in management and leadership, and I currently work as a senior role in an HR department. So after all this boring stuff that we're talking about, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the format of our show here. And the first part of our show is going to be a wine tasting. Why have a name like WINOS and not incorporate wine? So every show we are going to feature a wine, and this is a rosé. So in the summertime, rosé is the season. It's the season of rosé. Rosé goes well with, what would you say, seafood. It goes well with chicken. It goes well with popcorn. That's my favorite, to eat it with some popcorn.
Cheesecake?
Cheese. Oh, wine and cheese. Why not cheesecake?
By itself?
Or, yeah, really. So this is Barnabé. It's French, so I'm gonna say Barnabé because, hey, baby. This is what we're gonna try today. It's a Pinot Noir rosé. So there's different types of rosés and everything. A lot of them are red wine based. So this is a Pinot Noir based rosé. And I don't think any of us have ever had this one, right? No. And don't let it fool you. Some people think that if it's a twisty top, it's cheap wine, but it's not. Good wine comes with a twisty top, so don't think that you have to have a cork. So I'm gonna pour this in our little stemless wine glass.
Oh, well, thank you.
That says cheers. 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 So, and just to give you a little background on the relationship between myself, Rashida, and Deneen, I have known Rashida for 26 years. How old is your oldest baby?
28.
Oh, well, dang, it's okay. So it's more like 28 years than I have known Rashida. I inherited her from another person that's like a sister to me, and we've been stuck with each other ever since, and I'm glad we're stuck. Good times all the time. Woo-hoo. And then Deneen, I met about 12 years ago.
10.
12. It was in 2012. 2013?
14.
14? Okay, whatever. I done drank a lot of wine since then. So I have known Deneen for 10 years, although I think it's longer than that. But we used to have Divas Wine and Dine, which I'll probably talk about in another show, and have Toya on. But she would come to an event that I held for 8 or 9 years, and we've been stuck ever since too.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I can't get rid of her.
Nope.
Cheers. So we're gonna taste this rosé. Rosé is light and airy, so it doesn't have a lot of legs. And when I say legs, is when you swirl wine around in a glass, it usually sticks to the side. That means it has legs. This rosé is actually 13% alcohol, so it's not very high in alcohol content. Oh, it smells fruity. Okay, so hey baby is good. Okay, Barnabé.
I like that.
And for anybody local to Buffalo, I did get this from Amherst Street, which is my favorite store. I think I know more about that store than the people do that work there because I help them out on a regular. But and the price point was reasonable. It was like a $13.99 bottle. So screw top and reasonably priced does not mean that it's not good wine. You do not need $60 bottles of wine are gross if you ask me. But what do you ladies
It can
think?
be. I like it.
Rashida?
It's fruity.
Not bad. Actually, I'm not a rosé.
A rosé drinker. So
Yeah,
what would
but
we
with that Pinot in the
the
back,
Pinot
it's
gives
pretty
it.
good.
So what would we give this Barnabé wine? What would we give this out of 5?
I would definitely a 5.
Out of 5. Out of 5-star scale, what would you give it?
I'd give it a hot 3.75.
Yo,
I gotta get this.
this is okay. Rashida.
For me not to like rosés, and which is usually a 0, I can maybe bang with 1 to 1.5 maybe.
What point? Okay, as I am a rosé connoisseur, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give this a 4 because I like it. It doesn't give you that in the back of your throat or anything like that, and I can really see myself enjoying this with a nice shrimp Caesar salad.
Yep.
So
It's not too floral.
It's
And
not
I think
very
that's the part that I don't like.
that you don't
about
like when it's
rosé.
really floral. It's more fruity than floral.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I know you
definitely
like
fruit
fruit forward.
Yeah.
So that's our wine tasting portion. So we're going to move into our conversation for today. So as I said, the name of our podcast is Women in Need of Sanity. So as this is my very first podcast, I thought that we would dive into why are women in need of sanity? What is making women feel insane? What is making us lose our sanity? What is happening in the world today that we feel like our sanity is slipping away? So I'm gonna start with Deneen. Deneen, what do you think? When you think of insanity, let's start with the definition of insanity.
The definition of I'll give you the definition.
Okay,
of
I'm sorry. The
insanity,
definition of sanity. Let's start with sanity first. If you're considered to be a sane person, what would that look like? What's the definition of sanity?
roughly it's being of sound mind and being able to function, which I hate the terminology, normally in a basic world, which normal is relative.
Right, and normal, of course, is applicable to your own situation, what you consider to be normal.
Sound mind is relative.
So right, so. But what are some things, okay, to break it down even further, what are some things that you all think are affecting our psyche as females that we are reaching and we're in need of this sanity?
Economy, family structure, finances. For me, when you're thinking of just as a whole as women, all the things that we juggle, and how that impacts, and all those things still impact each other.
Right. What do you think, Denise?
I think it's the unrealistic expectations that are placed on us.
As women?
As women as a whole, mothers, as wives, as sisters, as daughters, as whatever.
And you know what? Let's unpack that for a second when you talk about the family structure. So when I look at the three of us right here, we all come from very different family structures, but we predominantly come from single mom homes. So as having that father figure missing, in our life as a constant or whatever, do you think that has had a high effect on how you function in life?
For me personally, absolutely. I think even just starting off in beginning stages of life and recognizing, or even if you don't consciously recognize that that's what you are missing, that is where you start off seeking that missing piece. So that becomes like almost part of your goal, and even if you're not realizing it. And I think a lot of that starts to contribute, if we don't catch it, to the development of the insanity.
Yes, I agree with that, because a lot of people say, or you look at society, they say your first love is the love that you had with your father or the relationship that you have with your dad. So if you don't have that relationship, if you don't have that love of a father, I think it affects how you interact with males in general. And just me, on a personal level, I will say I have made some unfortunate decisions when it comes to relationships and things like that. And I think maybe it may, come from that I didn't have. I was not daddy's little girl. I'm a mama's girl from my head to my toe and back around again. Anybody who knows me personally knows how me and my mom get down. So I am definitely a mama's girl, but it also made me very independent
Mhm.
and, very. Like I just can take care of myself. I
Alpha
don't
female,
right. Alpha
strong-minded.
female,
Mhm.
strong minded, strong willed, which to me is normal, but to a male or to, society, I'm hard to handle.
Mhm.
But I think some people would disagree with that I'm actually pretty easy and I'm not hard to handle. I just need consistency, transparency, and honesty. Why do people have a problem with that?
Mhm.
Like, why is it so hard? But I also want to go back to you talked about family structure. And my thing is this: coming from a single parent home, I want to know who sent out the memo that when a mom and a dad, whether it's your baby daddy, your kid's father, your ex husband, or whoever it is, where was it written that the mother has to take the children? Why can't I be a every other weekend and
Listen,
twice during the week parent and
please
pay
don't get
some
me on that
child
subject.
support? Because I didn't get that. I mean, I love my boys to death and I couldn't imagine not being with them every single
Absolutely.
day. But my thing is, why in society is that,
Mhm.
especially if you have sons, not to dismiss the girls or anything, but especially if you have sons, why is it that the mother has to be the one to be the primary caregiver for the children? What do you think, Denise?
I think it's the expectation.
Mhm.
It's the societal expectation. I mean,
So
it doesn't get too much. I mean, it does get deeper, but
But
for sure.
why do we want to conform to expectations of society? They ain't not paying my bills. They not sending me no stipend every month to say I'm gonna help you with these kids.
It's because we want approval. We
want
want
Yeah.
reassurance. And we're looking for it from the wrong
Mhm.
people.
Right, and that was another thing that came up in conversation a couple days ago. Is that as females, we seek reassurance in a lot of areas of our lives. We seek reassurance from our job. We seek reassurance from our partner. We seek reassurance from our parents. Like that just adds to the pressure of why we are just like so manic and everything, is that we want to seek this reassurance from everywhere and everybody, and it's not freely given at all. It's just not something that's given to us on a regular basis. Like I said, when you think of normal and things like that, you're thinking of white picket fence and you're thinking of, 2.5 kids and, the golden doodle running around. Who has that really? Especially as who has that? Well, actually, the golden doodle is her son's dog. It's not.
It's the grandpa.
It's the grandpa.
At least it gets passed on to the generation.
Right. The golden doodle is her grandpa. So she's, you know what I'm saying? So, but we strive for that. And I think because we don't get the reassurance and stuff that we need, what's that new saying they have out there? It takes us out of our soft girl mode or whatever.
Mhm.
But how do we get back to that? How do we get that? I think that it all starts with self.
I was gonna actually, because when you started talking about that reassurance, um, the first thing I thought about was even going back to, unfortunately, the lack of showing, and that starts again in the beginning, and it has to do with that self confidence, and self esteem. When those things aren't fed into, or when those things are lacking, then you really are seeking the reassurance from outside areas. And that's where, depending on where you're seeking it, it can, even add even more to that insanity.
Right. Denise.
That's low.
Let's unpack this.
Yes. I think that because we've seen so much inconsistency, number one, women are looking for a safe space.
Mm.
You give women a safe space, they will give you everything. They'll tell you what you need, but we need to feel safe. Our trust has been broken so much and so often that we are just looking for a space to be safe. And the minute we feel that that is not safe, boom, we clam up. Or we put on a front, or we put up our wall, or that's where now we're in our masculine energy, right? Because we're tired of putting up with the BS of constantly being fed a line and either it being taken back, taken away, or just not being given at all.
Right. And you know, the thing about it is, as women, we will put on fake, and whatever. You could be at home, you could be sitting in your car in the parking lot at the POE, that's the place of employment, and will be in tears, crumbling. And you know what you're gonna do? You gonna wipe your tears off, you gonna fix that makeup, and you gonna go in there and be like, good morning, and go on about your day and do your work. And that's how we are conditioned. But to me, I think we don't face a lot of those issues. Like, we hold a lot of stuff back. You know what I mean? I think that we feel like we have to be strong so much, and in so many different situations that we have the mentality, oh, it could always be worse. You know, I may have this going on and maybe that, but it could always be worse. But I found, and it took me about 45 years, we're not going to talk about how old I am now because I'm cute, but it took me about 45 years to actually delve into that. When you say it could always be worse, you're dismissing your feelings. You're not dealing with those feelings. You're pushing them to the side and you're like, oh, okay, well, I might have this going on, but it could be a lot worse.
Minimizing your circumstances.
Yes.
And potentially missing what you are meant to learn in that moment because you are not taking the time to really take in what's going on.
Exactly.
We're always completely on the go until forced
to
sit down.
Whether it's physically or mentally, or
always going
you have to be on the brink of insanity to take a break. You have to be on the brink of a mental breakdown to take a break. So again, it also took me those 45 years to say, you know what? Thinking about me and some self-care, that's not selfish. As women, we feel, especially if you're moms or whatever, or if you have parents to take care of, or even, you know, people with their fur babies. I don't know how that goes, but, you know, if you feel like you have something or someone to take care of, you put yourself last. But my thing is, if you aren't healthy, you can't take care of anybody else. Like, how can you exude positivity to your family, to your circle, to your village if you're crumbling on the inside? You have to take care of you and not think that it's selfish to do so.
And absolutely. And then just to piggyback off of that too, when a lot of times when we aren't and we're trying to have that mask on, family sees what it is anyway. So if you were, you know, the thought would be is if you were trying to redirect that next generation and them seeing as far as how you move, it would be more beneficial if you are focusing on your self-care. So then you can then project out that more positivity and give those lessons, you know, to your family.
Absolutely.
And so when we're thinking of self-care, I got big onto physical self-care, and which actually, shout out to Distinct Boot Camp, whoop whoop, Distinct crew. But I got into the physical, which actually helped my mental psyche as well. It's like when you said looking for a safe space. When I go to the gym, that is my safe space. That's like my sanctuary, you know. And when I go in there, I can be in a complete and total zone and be in my thoughts, and I'll think about some stuff, get my aggressions out, because y'all know I turn to violence in a second and want to punch somebody in the face. So, you know, don't let the lip gloss and the heels fool you. You know, I'm gonna knock you out. But going to the gym has helped with that. I go and punch the heavy bag, or, you know, I'm in there, you know, bench and squat pulling 150 pounds. And so that has become part of my self-care. But I also want to talk about the mental care. As people of color, we are the first ones to say that we don't want to go to therapy. Next to men, all men. Sorry guys, but next to all men who just like, oh, I don't think I need therapy and da da da. Something wrong with you. Cut it out. Cut it out right now. You got mama issues. You got daddy issues. You got issues. Okay. A blunt and a drink is not gonna help you get rid of them demons that you have. It actually makes them worse. So, but as people of color, we shun away from therapy. We shun away from taking care of our mental health. Let's talk about. It always makes me think of that of the movie Soul Food. How they had the uncle that was in the back room, and all they do was take him something to eat. Something was wrong with Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe was schizophrenic or bipolar or something like that. But how many people have we seen in our race that take Uncle Joe and just throw him in the back room, and we take him a plate every night, and he back there with the TV full of money, like. What? So I'm like, we don't want to face that. And then I've also heard how how we're raised, what happens in the house stays in the house. Don't be telling people your business. So they shy away from therapy. I don't need these people in my business. I'm not telling them all my business and this and that. Look, get over it, people. Get y'all life together. Get it together. Unpacking that and actually speaking to somebody, it helps. Don't you think? I mean, you as being in that area, I mean, that's your profession. Like, how do we get people to think to actually open up to that and actually make them aware of, therapy and mental health is important?
I think and it's starting to come around, but there's a lot to it. It's in the normalization. People have to begin to normalize seeking out therapy when stuff is getting real for them. Not everybody knows this, but your therapist probably has a therapist, because between all of the stuff that we have to deal with, we need to unpack all of that. We're listening to trauma day after day after day, not to mention dealing with our own stuff. We need somewhere, a safe space to be able to deal with that, to process through that and be able to move forward, because if not, we're not going to make it professionally. So I think it's ultimately the need for people of color to normalize getting help, for them to be comfortable in talking about it in family, amongst their family. It's so important with everything that I've worked. And again, I'm not a person of color, but I've worked with people of color.
Girl, you black on the inside.
Oh God, don't start that.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk about what's really black, but okay, go ahead.
We're recording, ma'am. But I see the need, and even just recently having to experience the death of a young person who completed suicide because they were so resistant to getting help for their mental health. Those are the types of things that you see on a daily basis that we have to start making this okay for people to talk about. We have to start giving them that safe space, because if we don't, they're not going to feel safe coming to us.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Kind of thinking I like to relate it as far as mental health being equivalent to any type of physical,
like you gonna go to the sugar, you gonna take care of your sugar,
right?
You gonna take care of that diabetes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take my pressure pill, but you won't do anything about your mental. Like I don't understand. So you're gonna be physically okay because you're going to take that pill for your high blood pressure, or you're going to take that shot for your diabetes, but you're just gonna let your mind go. And while I'm on that topic as well, now, I believe in a higher power. I have a faith base, even though I always refer to myself as everybody's favorite heathen friend. But I'm also going to say that people of color are good to say, oh, well, I'm just going to leave it up to God. He going he going to fix it. I may pray it out. I got all these demons inside of me, but I'm going to pray them out. Or you're going to go to the pastor, and the pastor he went to theology school. He studied the Bible. He did not study mental health. He going to tell you, okay, Sister Jones, I'm going to see you in church. Don't forget to pay your tithes.
Well, hopefully it's a pastor not also realizing that pastors are people too. So when you got pastors, you're not going to your pastor. Well, yes, you'll go to your pastor to pray on your physical ailments, but your pastor is not going to tell you not to go to the doctor.
I hope not.
So exactly. So that considering that your pastor might be
He might need to go to therapy too. Like, and
If he's not referring you to a doctor, he needs therapy as well.
right.
Okay.
So if he's not
Let's
saying
just start
I
there.
need you to go to the clinic and get you something for that.
But
Yes,
that's another.
God gives those people those abilities to be able to assist you.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think the thing is, church has made it an unsafe space to talk about mental health because we just want to demonize it, over spiritualize it, cast it out, speak in tongues over it. That's not going to help.
Right. So you schizophrenic, you full of demons.
Right.
Or we gonna pray it out of you. No.
I am not against prayer as support, but in terms of thinking that is going to be an overall cure, especially when people are dealing with severe mental illness.
And the thing about it is, most mental illnesses are a chemical imbalance that's in your body. It's a chemical, and just like you don't have enough insulin, it's a chemical imbalance in your brain that, just like you taking that pressure pill, it's a little pill that you can take that will bring you out of it. So speaking to somebody, seeing if you need medication or whatever, people shy away from medication that helps them that way. It's even like natural remedies and stuff if you're against taking Western medication or whatever. But
and just to add, I think too, why a lot of people shy away from getting the assistance is the stigma and what's associated with it. But at the end of the day, guess what? At some point in everybody's life, you're going to have some mental health.
Yeah.
When you have traumatic, and everybody has some type of traumatic something that happens in their life. And guess what? When you're having that moment and you're like, dang, that's really messed up, and you feel it down, that's a depressional state situation.
Right.
So even if it's situational, I think, especially coming out of COVID, that it has been brought even that it's been more normalized that it's okay. It's okay to have moments when you're feeling down. It's okay to be thinking that life ain't the best right now. But when the key is that when you are having those thoughts and those moments is to talk to someone and seek out that help so that it doesn't manifest any deeper.
And I will say this. The people that you surround yourself with are also, when I tell you that my village is amazing, I tells no lie. I have, which these two are a part of my village. If I didn't have this village, in addition to, my mom and my sons, if I didn't have this village, I think I would be insane. Because never mind your best friend, has studied mental health therapy and everything. B613 over here gonna help you out with some stuff. It's just like our circle, because we're all part of the same circle. Our circle is just, you have me who, in every situation, I'm going to make you laugh because something wrong with me. So, it's going to be a serious situation. It's somebody going to die or something. I'm going to crack a joke and you can be like, girl, you so stupid, but I feel better. I'm going to support you in all the things that you do. Deneen is the cheerleader. When I tell you this girl got pom-poms coming out her booty, she is the biggest cheerleader in the world. This is why she's still with me 10 years later. Rashida is very nurturing, and she gonna feed you. That girl, when I tell you that girl can cook,
my God,
that child can cook over here. Okay, I'm trying to get her little catering business together, but we'll talk about that another day. And then we have Tanya, who's not here right now. She's also, we call her Martha Ray. She's that should tell you right then and there. She's a combination of Martha Stewart and Rachel Ray. So we call her Martha Ray. You know what I'm saying? Then we have Tia, who is our sensitive thug. She gonna hug you, but then she gonna want to punch you in the throat the next minute. But everybody need girl.
Don't do my Tia like that.
You know Tia gonna punch you in the throat and then hug you and be like, girl, I love you so much. I love you so much. I mean, but and then we have our Rosebud, who is just the most creative person. Like, her creativity is second to none. Like,
Let's not forget the new babe, Tiani.
I didn't get there yet.
I know.
And then Miss Tiani. Miss Tiani, who brings in a whole different flavor. Like,
Love her.
she just wants to outpour love and, wants to receive it and outpour it. So it's like this circle, this village, like, we're all very different. We all bring something different to the table. But as a collective whole, listen, I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. Like, that's just how we roll. And I would say people need to take a step back and actually look at the people that you have in your life, whether they're family members or friends or whatever. What are they pouring into you? What type of, if somebody is in your life and they're not adding something to your life, do you really need that person around? And I'm not talking about financially or anything. I'm just talking about somebody who is pouring into your soul, someone that you can go to. Like, y'all can call. My phone is always on. Like, it's certain people in this group I would never call if I'm in a ditch because they don't answer their phone. I'm not going to name no names. But my phone is always on. And y'all know, y'all call me 3:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the afternoon. Now, when you call me at 3 in the morning, I'm answering the phone. Are you drunk? Do I need to pick you up, or where we hiding the body? Like, am I bringing Tim's and rope, or what? Like, that one meme or a bottle. Do I need to bring a bottle of Tito's? Because we need to talk about whatever's going on.
Exactly.
But that one meme. I'm that well-rounded friend. We can go to brunch. We can go to church. We can go work out. We can go hide the body. No questions asked. I'm that friend. That's what I'm here for. Or as Tiani likes to call me, she calls me the goon.
The goon.
I'm the goon of the group. Which, I am. Like, I have my pistol permit. I just was at the range shooting up everything last week. Like, I be tearing all this up. You know what I'm saying?
Live up to your name.
I gotta live up to my name. So, but we also all are very independent and very good at what we do, but we all have that softer side as well.
Yeah. When I was doing substance abuse recovery, one of the biggest predictors to successful recovery was how strong is your support network. That's it. The people that I had coming back through were the people that did not work on their social supports.
And people don't, like I said, people are always talking about, I don't want people in my business or this and that. Listen, honey, you need somebody in your business. You need somebody to help you maintain your life. Absolutely. Like, what, and I always say that my soulmate is Tanya. And people think that soulmate has to do with a relationship between a man and a woman. No, the definition of a soulmate is someone who understands you, someone who is there for you, someone who loves you unconditionally. It has nothing to do with a romantic thing. It's nothing about intimacy or anything like that. Me and her been riding together for 36, 37 years. We done went from puberty and we on our way to menopause. So, I mean...
That's a book right there.
Girl,
from menopause.
Menopause. That's gonna be the name of my book. That's the podcast.
I love it.
Wait, me and Tanya too. Wait, me and Tanya gonna have a spin-off podcast from puberty because when I tell you we got some stories. And the thing of my mom always says that we have our own language. Like she said, I just sit there and be in awe of the two of you because she says we have our own language. She said, I'll never know what y'all talking about. Is it the rap music that y'all listen to, or what is happening that I don't never understand what y'all talking about? But the thing about it is people don't understand we talk in movie and music. If you really listen to us, our whole conversation is movie or music or the look. Like I can look at her and she can look at me and we done had a whole 20-minute conversation in that 30-second look. And you need that in your life. You need that in your life. So but my point to that is whether male, female, or whatever, you need, and I think that people put a lot of stress on their spouses. I think that people put a lot of onus, like, I know your spouse is supposed to be your best friend, your spouse is supposed to be your support system and everything, but you can't get pigeonholed in that because everybody's spouse ain't gonna stay together as somebody who, was married for 14 years and is no longer. Absolutely. So that's always not going to be the case. But even with friendships, people are there for a reason or season or a lifetime. And looking at my track record, I don't have some seasonal folks.
Haven't we all?
But you know what? My lifetime folks is still here though.
Exactly.
I mean, like I said, me and Rashida been friends for 28 years. come across those type of friendships anymore. And I ain't even finished my glass of wine yet, y'all. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. But yeah, I think that we have to seek out different things. Like, just recap on what we need, not just as females, because I mean, of course, the topic was why are women in need of sanity, but everybody. I think at this point in time, after coming, I feel like I'm just gonna live my life like it's golden because I done survived the pandemic and 2 teenage boys. Like, I think that I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want to do because I done survived a lot of stuff. I'm still here. Y'all see I got my golden hair now. Now, typically I'm a redhead, but you know what? I'm feeling golden.
That's right.
I'm feeling golden at this point in time. So, but you need to seek self-care.
Absolutely.
Okay, self-care. Even like exercise. And when I say exercise, like I go to the gym, I work out hard. But even if you get up and take a walk, like get moving, take a little short walk, whatever. That's part of self-care. Exercise
naturally releases stress.
It does.
Naturally.
It does. And doing the hippity dippity does not count, even though that's some good cardio. But I'm gonna need y'all to do something exercise besides that. And if you don't know what the hippity dippity is, we'll talk about that on another episode. But anyway, in addition to that, check the people in your life. Check who you're around. Check who you are giving your energy to. Energy is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're giving positive energy, are you getting toxic energy in return? Check them. Check them. Make sure you do a mental check. Sit back, take quiet time, and actually do a mental check on yourself. And go through some things and say, how am I feeling? How are you dealing with stuff? Or are you not dealing with it? That's part of,
Avoidance.
Avoidance. Thank you. Avoidance, deflection. Are you deflecting all your feelings off? Are you being mean to people and barking at them and being nasty and stuff because you're not handling the stuff that you have inside of you?
Exactly.
So, I mean, let's start working on us.
Self-check-ins.
Self-check-ins. Relationship check-ins are good too, but self-check-ins are. I think you have to do the self-check-in first.
In order for the relationship to be healthy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Because like I said, toxic attracts toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies. I love y'all.
This is wonderful.
I know, this was wonderful.
I like it.
So this being my first podcast, I was super excited about it, but this will not be my last. I have lots of stuff to unpack, lots of different situations. I might even invite the fellas to come in and talk sometimes, because this is definitely, even though the title is Women in Need of Sanity, this is definitely not a male bashing thing, because I like to play devil's advocate. Actually, I've been told I have extra levels of testosterone in my body, so I think like a dude anyway. So sometimes my opinion is unpopular amongst the women because I think like a guy. But please join us again. We'll have our wine, we'll have our girls, and all these babes that I talked about that I named. Oh, you're going to see them as well. So thank you all so much for tuning in today.
Release your anger, release your eye, release your job, release the time, release